I've got a short yoga practice for you today that's really designed to help you feel good in your body. So let's go ahead and get started. Find a seated position that feels good to you. I'm sitting up on a bolster, which is just like a big pillow, just because it feels better for me. But you can sit on the floor, you can sit on some pillows you've got, you can sit on a couple of blankets stacked up, whatever feels good for you and your body. Find that comfortable position. Let's take a couple deep breaths in and out together and sit for a few moments together, just welcoming you to be present here in this moment, all right? So take a deep breath in and let it out. Take another deep breath in and let it out. One more deep breath in and let it out. Amen. Let's get started. We're going to start with a really simple twist. So place the left hand behind you and your right hand comes across to that knee. And then we're going to twist from the belly to the left. Keeping the shoulders down, tall, straight spine. Take a breath here. And exhale, come back to center. Now we'll do the other side. Right hand goes behind you, left hand comes across. Twist from the belly. Inhale, exhale, come back to center. Let's open that side body. Place your left hand down on the mat next to you. Reach that right arm up and over, stretching the side body. Deep breath here. Exhale, bring that arm down to the other side. Right hand goes down, left arm up and over. Inhale, exhale, bring that arm down, come back up to seated. Let's just do some simple shoulder rolls. And the other direction. Feeling good. Bring that right arm across, hug it in. Drop that right shoulder down your back. Inhale, exhale, let that go to the other side. Left arm comes across, hug it in. Drop that shoulder down the back. Inhale, exhale, release that. We're going to move to cat-cow. So meet me on your hands and knees. If you have tender knees or just knees feel kind of sore for whatever reason, this is a great time to put a blanket or a thin pillow or whatever you'd like right under the knees. I'll show you what that looks like here. So just, giving our knees a little extra love. Nothing wrong with that. You can bring your hands right under your shoulders, knees right under your hips, and we are going to open up the spine, stretch the spine a little bit by doing some simple cat-cow stretches. So cat, we're going to do first. Drop your tailbone, drop your head, press up through the spine. And then we'll reverse that. So lift the tailbone, lift the chest, let the belly hang into cow pose. Let's do that one more time. Drop the tailbone, drop the head, lift up through the spine. And then lift the tailbone, lift the chest, let the belly drop. Beautiful. Now come back to neutral spine here. So from here, let's open up the side body a little bit more. We'll wag our hips, or you can imagine drawing the left shoulder to the left hip, the right shoulder to the right hip, taking turns. Just beginning to kind of open that side. One side always tends to be tighter for me, so this is a great time for me to check in and say, what's going on with my body? Excuse me. And then I also like to flip my wrists around to give myself a little wrist stretch. If your wrists do not go all the way around, that's okay. You can go to 90 degrees and still feel a nice stretch and go back and forth a little bit this way. Really good stretch for those of us who are on computers a lot. can make a huge difference in how you feel. All right, when you're ready, we're going to press up into downward dog. So if you haven't done downward dog before, really simply, we start in tabletop, so just start where we were just at with our cat-cow. Curl the toes under, and then we're gonna lift the hips and press them back in space, trying to create this long line from fingertips to tailbone. You can let the head hang. It's perfectly okay if your heels don't touch the mat. Mine are not touching the mat today. But pressing strong through your hands, reaching through the tailbone. One more breath here. And then you can release that down. You can even push back to child's pose if that would feel good. I've got my knees wide, big toes together, press back, let the arms stretch out forward. All right, come on up. Let's stand. Actually, before we do that, let's do one more stretch because I think this will feel really good. So bring your blanket out again, if you are using that, and bring both knees to the blanket. We're gonna do a nice stretch here that both stretches the front of the hip, known as the hip flexor or the psoas muscle, and also the back of the leg, the hamstring. It's really great. These are really tight muscles for many of us. So let's spend a little time giving them a little love today, okay? So from here on your knees, again, you can pad this up as much as you'd like. If you've got a bolster, you can go on a bolster if that would feel better for the knees, or a bunch of pillows. Something that feels stable, but feel free to really pad it up and make your knees feel happy. All right, and then we'll step our right leg forward. So what we're gonna do is drop into a low lunge here, but you are in charge. So you are in charge of how much stretch you can do here. It's whatever feels good in your body. So what I'll do is I'll begin to let the hips sink down toward the floor, and that means this right knee is gonna bend. Now, noticing my knee is going a little past my ankle, I'm gonna just shimmy those toes forward a little bit because I don't want my knee to go more forward than my ankle. I want that nice 90 degrees there. And then you can bring your hands down to the ground if that would be helpful. If you've got blocks, you can bring your hands down to a block or to like water bottles, something like that, or books. You can even do this if that would feel better. Bring your hands up to your leg. But you'll really feel this opening in that psoas in the front of your left hip. One more breath here. And then we're gonna slowly, slowly, slowly press ourselves back. Flex that right foot. Keep the right heel on the floor, but bring those toes up, straighten that right leg. And then I even like to imagine pulling that right leg back into the right hip socket. You're gonna get a really nice stretch in the back of the leg here, the hamstring. So just sit with it for a moment. This one is tight, so this feels great to me today. And then when you're ready, you can just bring that foot back to your blanket, and we'll do the other side. All right, this time we're gonna bring our left foot forward. We're gonna drop into the low lunge, again, making sure the knee doesn't go over the ankle, or further than the ankle. So, dropping into it as much as you want. Maybe this is enough. Maybe you wanna go deeper, or do what feels good in your body. Just watching that knee. You can bring, again, the hands to your thigh. The hands can come down onto the mat. This is also really fun against a wall. You can bring your hands to the wall, and that can feel really nice. Getting that nice stretch to the front of the right hip. Woo! And then we're gonna slowly, slowly, slowly back out of that. We're gonna lift the left toes off the mat, flex that left foot. My heel is still on the mat though. Straighten the left leg. And again, imagine pulling that right leg back into the right hip socket. You're gonna get a nice stretch on the back of the left leg now. All right, one more breath here. And then you can bring it back to the blanket. Beautiful. All right, go ahead and stand up with me here. We are going to move into our Warrior Two pose. I love doing Warrior Two because it feels so strong and so grounding, and you don't need any props for it. So let's do it together. Start by standing in the middle of your mat, and we're gonna step our feet apart a couple of feet. You can adjust as we go, so it's not so important about getting the exact right length. From here, I'm gonna turn my right foot so it's pointing straight with my mat. And then my left leg is gonna internally rotate a little bit so that my heel is actually kicked back farther than my toes. All right, from here, I'm gonna bend that right knee, the front leg, and I can bring the arms up, dropping the shoulders down my back. Now, just like we did in that low lunge, we wanna watch our knee, make sure we're not going over the ankle. If we are, you can shimmy those toes forward. If it feels good from here, you can even turn your gaze over your right hand. Warrior Two. See if you can feel your strength here, pressing down into the mat. All right, from here, we're gonna rotate into what's called extended side angle. So we're gonna drop the right forearm to my right thigh, and reach my left arm up and out. So I've got this nice long line between left fingertips and left heel. The base stays right where it was, so my legs stay right where they are. Beautiful. One more deep breath here. I'm gonna bring that arm down. Stamp down on that right leg to standing. And then I'm gonna rotate my feet here. I want my feet to be pointing out toward the corners of my mat. Let's move into star pose. So from here, lift your arms up wide, out to the side, spread the fingers, and really press down through both feet into the mat. I love this pose because it reminds me that I'm allowed to take up space. You are allowed to take up space. You can breathe deeply, stretching through the hands, pressing down through the feet, dropping those shoulders down the back. Beautiful. All right, let's bring the arms down. We'll rotate the feet so we can do the other side of our Warrior Two. So this time I've got the front leg going straight, the back leg gets internally rotated so that the heels kick back farther than the toes, and then I'm going to bend that front knee, watching so the knee doesn't go over the ankle. If that happens, we come out of the bend, or we can shimmy that foot forward. From here, bring the arms up, drop the shoulders down your back, and if it feels good, you can turn your gaze toward your front leg. Warrior Two. Notice how it feels on this side. It might feel better, it might feel more grounded, more strong, or it might feel less, it might feel a little more wobbly. Just something to pay attention to. From here, we're gonna drop that forearm down to that front leg, and then bring that back arm up and over, reaching from the fingertips all the way to that heel. Getting a nice stretch, side angle pose. One more deep breath here. All right, bring that arm down, stamp down on that front leg to stand up. And then this time we're gonna turn the toes so they're both facing inwards. The last time for star pose, we had them going out toward the corners. This time I want them to come in, facing toward each other a little bit. From here, we're gonna do a forward fold. So this is a wide-legged forward fold. We're gonna hinge from our hips, dropping our torso. You can bring your hands to the floor, you can bring it to a cushion or chair, you can bring your hands just to your legs, wherever they fall, but allowing the neck to relax and release. Taking a few deep breaths. from here, we'll start working our way up. You can stamp down on those legs and hinge up, back up to standing. Beautiful. All right, let's head down to the mat. So, we're gonna do a seated twist here. I've got my legs out in front of me, and I'm gonna take my right leg and cross it over the left leg so that foot comes close to the knee. From here, I like to imagine kind of hugging this leg in and twisting toward the knee that is bent. So to do that, I'm gonna place my right hand behind me, so the same leg that's bent, that arm goes behind me for stability, and then the opposite arm comes across and kind of leverages on that knee. Then from here, I can turn the tummy to that side. Beautiful twist here. You might have your back crack a little. Deep breath. And let it out. And then we'll unload that twist and we'll do the other side. So this time I'm bringing my left leg across. It ends up right by my right knee, kind of imagining hugging in and twisting to the left this time. I'm gonna put my left hand behind me, right arm comes across to leverage, and then as you exhale, twisting to the right. Beautiful twist here. So nice. Take a big deep breath and let it out as you unload that twist. Beautiful. All right. Now we're gonna lie back on our backs and we're gonna do what's called a figure 4 or a supine pigeon stretch. This is a great stretch for the outer hip, even into the glute, which again can be such a tight muscle for so many of us, especially if you sit a lot. So that is also, that tightness can lead to sciatica and some other issues that so many people deal with, and so this is a great stretch for that. All right, from here, lying on your back, knees are bent, feet are on the floor. I'm gonna bring my right ankle to my left knee, making a little figure 4 with my legs. And from here, you might feel a stretch already, and if that's the case, you just stay right here and enjoy that stretch. If you want to deepen the stretch, you can reach through and grab either your left hamstring or even the left shin and draw that left leg in toward the body. Woo! You're gonna feel that on your right hip and right glute. We'll take a couple breaths there. Let that muscle relax and release. Now we're gonna try the other side. So drop the legs down and switch. This time left ankle goes over the right, making the figure 4. Again, if you wanna stay here, that's perfectly fine. If you want a deeper stretch, you can reach in and grab the right hamstring or the right shin. Draw it in close to you. Feel that stretch on the left side. Noticing here the differences. Not judging them, just noticing that probably one side feels quite a bit different than the other. All right, one more breath here. And drop those legs down. Beautiful. All right, from here, I'm gonna walk my feet a little bit wider, almost as wide as my mat. And then I'm going to do what I call windshield wiper legs. So dropping them to the same side as if they're wiping away the rain on my car. My hands are just to my sides, bringing a little stability to this. But letting the body rock back and forth. It's a great low back massage. It also can stretch the hips quite a bit. And the next time you go to the left, see if you can just drop the legs to the left and let them sit there for a moment. Enjoy that stretch. And then inhaling, bring the legs back up to center, and then drop them to the right. Inhaling those legs up. We're going to allow ourselves to relax. So if it would feel good, you can stretch your legs out. Or if you have low back tightness like I do, I like to stick a holster or some type of blanket or something, a pillow underneath my legs to just kind of give my low back a little extra care. We're going to move into Shavasana. Shavasana is our final pose. It's the rest pose. And we just allow ourselves to lie on our backs and rest. Allow them to kind of reset. So much of our yoga practice is kind of reteaching our bodies how to move in a way that's functional and works well. And so this time can be a time where our bodies begin kind of relearning and making those connections that they need. So for Shavasana, you might find that you want to close your eyes. You might find that you want to leave your eyes open. That's okay. You might find you just want to sit quietly, or you might find that you want to pray or meditate. You might find that your body instantly relaxes, or you might find that you need to coax it a little bit and remind it to release the tension. Maybe even scanning the body, allowing the body to relax and to release. I'll give us a minute here to be silent and to rest. And I'll let you know when it's time to move on to our next thing. When you're ready, you can wiggle your fingers and toes, bring your senses back up to the surface. When you're ready, you can roll to your side. Allow yourself to rest for a moment, recalibrate. Take a deep breath in. And then gently use your arms to press yourself up to seated. As we end our practice today, I hope you check in with your body and see how it feels. What has shifted in our time practicing today? What did you notice about your body? All right, thank you so much for practicing with